Hello, my name is Martin and welcome back to another video. You may notice that I'm on a canal boat again. We're on the Trent and Mersey canal and we're heading down towards the Anderton Boat lift, as you've probably seen in the title of this video. And we've got the privilege of being on a narrowboat. We're going to drop down onto the River Weaver navigation, and it's all courtesy of Graham, who's invited us along on his narrowboat, Juno 2. And thank you very much, Graham, because I've been here. I came to an open day once here and it was packed, and I didn't end up making a video. So to get the chance to actually utilise the machinery or the actual boat lift is amazing. So I'll show you where we are, and then I think in about 10 minutes we'll be at the boat lift, and I'll try and capture as much as I can for you. Okay, so this week we're in Cheshire. You'll see we're not far from a place called Northwich, not a million miles away from Manchester, and even closer to Liverpool. The X marks roughly where we are. If we zoom in on that area, you can see the roads where we are, and you'll see Northwich, and there it is, the Anderton Boat Lift and Visitors Centre. We'll take a look at the old map, and what the purpose of the boat lift was to drop the boats down from the Trent and Mersey Canal onto the River Weaver navigation, and you can see the two waterways there. You can see all the industry in the area, and of course it worked in reverse. Boats could go from the River Weaver up to the Trent and Mersey. So as Graham was just telling me, there's lots of salt workings around here. It's quite famous around here for salt mines, and apparently the sections of this canal that collapsed into the actual salt workings and have had to be reconstructed. Quite a scary thought, to be honest with you. So we're here, the Anderton Boat Lift. So we've got here a little bit early. We're booked onto it at 11:30 in the morning. It's about 11 o'clock now. Beautiful day. It's not going to rain, hopefully. So we're going to go into either side there. You'll see there's two sides. We're going to go in. I presume they dam it off, and then we'll get lowered down onto the River Weaver. Now my challenge, we're going on a one-way trip, so my challenge is to be able to capture as much of the workings for you and what's going on as I can with one camera. So I'll see what I can do, and I don't really want to miss a trick because it's a bit of a one-off for me, this. I don't think I'll be doing this again anytime in the future. And then when we get down there, I'll show you the structure, because it's some of you may know it, some of you won't, but it is quite a vast thing to look at. I'll also fill you in on some details when it was built and the history of it and all the rest of it. So yeah, we're going to have a bit of a chill out now, and then we'll be, I'll try and capture, like I say, as much as I can. What a structure. So we've got Stuart from the Canal and River Trust here, who knows a lot more than me about this thing.
Well, I think I do.
I'm sure you do, Stuart. Stuart, when was it built? How old is it?
It was built 1875 by a gentleman called Edwin Clark.
Wow.
Who designed it as a hydraulic lift, and it was converted in 1908 into an electric lift by a gentleman by the name of Colonel John Sainer.
Right. Wow. And who owned it at the time? Was it a canal company that owned it?
It was actually owned by Trent and Mersey,
right.
The Trent and Mersey company,
yeah.
And the Weaver Navigation. They shared it in a way because it was an idea of getting narrowboats off the canal
Yeah.
onto the river, because both of these waterways head straight into Liverpool,
Right, right.
but on the river it was a lot quicker.
Yeah, so it made sense to get that built.
Yeah,
back in the day,
to get the boats off the canal and put it on the river.
Right, and you've converted it over the years. Was it, you say initially it was
It was a hydraulic lift,
hydraulic, then electric?
and then it went to electric. The reason why it went to electric was the fact that because Cheshire is built on a salt plain, Cheshire all around here was all salt water.
All right.
And Edwin Clark, when he designed it, he thought he could use the lift as a hydraulic water lift. However, when after about 15 years, it then realised that water, salt water and iron don't mix, and ended up corroding.
Right.
So Colonel John Sainer came along in 1908 and thought, oh, we'll turn it into electric lift, which made it a little bit more successful.
Right.
And it lasted for about 70 years.
Yep.
And until 1983, when they decided to give it a bit of a coat of paint. As they gave it a coat of paint, they realised that they had one big problem, that one of the beams in the top, you could put your finger right away through it.
Bloody hell, so it corroded through, had it?
So unfortunately, it was the end of the road, as they thought then, for the Anderton Boat lift. After a lot of campaigning, cutting a long story short, and help from the National Lottery, in 2002, they reopened the boat lift to how it is today.
Brilliant, brilliant. So what actually powers it nowadays? It's that big piston thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the ram in the middle.
Yeah.
The ram in the middle is actually pushes the caisson up.
Yeah.
It's hydraulic with hydraulic oil.
Right.
Now.
Yeah.
We can use it in what we call as a balance when it goes up like so.
Okay.
So we can also use it on an isolation.
Right.
So we can have one going up at a time, but we can't have two at the top because there's not enough oil.
Right.
So
you've got to constantly do that.
Yeah, we've got to do it on a balance, or on an isolation. It's cheaper to do it on a balance.
Right. Yeah, because less power.
Correct. Yeah.
Brilliant. One last question. How high is it?
It is actually about 51 foot from the river to the canal.
Between the two water levels,
It is, yeah.
Right. Oh, sorry, and one last question. It's iron, is it?
It's iron.
Right, wow. Cast or raw? This is where I don't know my stuff, you see.
Cast.
Cast, right.
Yeah.
Interesting stuff.
So,
right, brilliant. Stuart, thank you very much for telling us. Yeah, thanks for talking to us.
Thank you.
We're going to have a cup of tea now and enjoy the sunshine.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks, Stuart.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Right, so we're about to head in, so I'm going to start filming now. I'm going to shut up and show you what I can see. Okay, here we go. So I've speeded this up a little bit, just parts of this. We first head out onto an aqueduct that leads across to the actual lifting mechanism. There used to be a toll for the old boats back in the day, and we have to wait on this aqueduct for a short time. And eventually we will head over into the caissons. Now that's the huge tank that is going to contain the water and the boat and be lowered down to the River Weaver. I think I'm saying that right. They call it a caisson. Okay, so I've speeded this bit up slightly for you. We're just heading now across the aqueduct and into the caisson, or the tanks, or whatever you want to call them. Apparently each of the tanks weighs 90 tonnes, and when it's full of water it weighs 252 tonnes. Now what that is when it's also got two boats in as well, I can only guess. I suppose it depends on the size of the boats, but it's one hell of a weight that it's got to lower down. absolutely fantastic. As someone who likes like Victorian engineering and structures like this is amazing to be here. There's a big drop down there, as I've probably showed you, but this thing is fantastic. Where'd you start trying to film it all? Anyway, any second now, I think we're going to start being lowered down. So as Stuart says, wherever possible they try to use the counterbalancing system. So as we were going down, there was another 2 boats coming up. Now there is another boat lift that exists in the country. It's up in Scotland and it's the Falkirk wheel. But as far as I'm aware, it's the only other boat lift in Britain. Only these 2 remain. I could be wrong, but I think I'm right. There's only 2, and the Falkirk wheel is a very, very modern affair. So down at river level, the caissons are sat in a water-filled sandstone-lined chamber. Above ground, the superstructure consists of 7 hollow cast iron columns. Each of the caissons is supported by a single hydraulic ram consisting of a hollow 50-foot piece of cast iron that's 3 foot in diameter, and when it's down at the bottom it's buried 50 foot in the ground. If you look at the base of that caisson, that X structure doesn't even go the full length of the caisson. It's strange the way it's only supported in the middle like that. So there must be some, those guide tubes at either end must keep it all steady and keep it all balanced. Now, as Stuart said earlier on, the Anderton Boat Lift was open to traffic on the 26th of July 1875 at a cost of £48,428, which apparently is £4.5 million in today's prices. Now, again, as Stuart said, in the 1980s the Anderton Boat Lift nearly met its end because of all the corrosion, but it was saved by a National Lottery grant. And also a lot of individuals, some of them local, contributed towards the scheme to save the Anderton Boat Lift. So it's a true success story, to be honest with you, that this thing is still running today. And imagine it cost a fortune to upkeep it. If you do get the chance, if you live around that area, go down and take a look at it, because it truly is a sight to behold. So this is the River Weaver. And apparently if you go up here this way, that way it joins up with the River Mersey and obviously then out to sea. And that's why they built the boat lift, as Stuart was saying, because there was a lot of trade coming off the canals that needed to get down onto the river to join the Mersey to get over to Liverpool. So we're going to have a little cruise on the boat now, down the River Weaver, this way, back towards where we came. So we're headed back towards Northwich, and this is Hunt's Lock on the River Weaver navigation. Quite a large lock, quite a very nice place. But I wanted to show it you because take a look at this. Look at the railway style signals for the boats in the lock. I thought that was brilliant. And at the same place there's some remains of old gas lamps as well. I thought that was a nice little touch as well. Pity they can't get them going really. Oh, sun's in my eyes, but I've got to get the cinematic shot of the boat lift behind us. Anyway, that was brilliant, really enjoyed that. Thank you, Graham, for inviting us onto the boat and giving us that opportunity. That was amazing. So there you go, the Anderton Boat Lift. Hope you enjoyed that. Thanks very much for watching, take care, and I shall see you very soon in the next video. Bye for now.